Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to use the mic that's on my camera because my other one's messing up. I do apologize. Hopefully it sounds okay on y'all's end. I'm Nursia Bliss RN and welcome to Work It Out Wednesday. I am a dosage calculations tutor and I help nursing students defeat dosage calculations. So if you are in the thick of your program and dosage calculations is giving you issues, you are in the right spot. I do use dimensional analysis. I personally think dimensional analysis is the best because you can do all types of stuff with it. You can do your conversions. You can do your ins and outs, reconstitution, weight-based, pediatric safe dose range, IV drips, IV drops per minute, heparin, anything with it, and you don't have to really know a lot of math, okay? So I'm going to connect my iPad and we are going to do a couple of problems tonight, and y'all just make sure that you interact with the live because the best way to get better at dosage calculations is to practice, okay? And make sure that you learn your metric conversions. That's first and foremost. You have to learn your metric conversions. Alrighty, let's see here. Where are we at? Cast. Boom. Okay. So we'll just dive into it. The provider has ordered 275 milligrams IV of drug V, and it's added to be added to 1 liter of normal saline. Available is 1,000 milligrams of drug V in a vial, which when reconstituted yields a concentration of 550 milligrams per 3 milliliters. How much of drug V will be added to the solution? Okay. Oh, you passed your NCLEX? Congratulations! That is awesome! The nurses are coming! Congratulations, Bermuda! Oh, where's my sound effects? Where's my sound effects? That's awesome. Congratulations. Y'all tell her congratulations. Do you have any tips and tricks for those who have to take it coming up? What kind of resources did you use, and what specialty are you going into? I'm so proud of you. The nurses are coming. Yay! Alrighty. So if you think that you can solve this problem, put a 1 in the chat. If you kind of looking like what in the what, put a 2 in the chat. 1.5. I'll take that. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening, okay? So if you are looking for like one of these sessions where I just like show you how to work it out and just go through problems, zoom, then this is not it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what's going on so you can know how to work through the problem and you'll be able to solve these, okay? Because that's half the battle. You see y'all, you know how to read, but you don't know what's going on. So let's figure it out. The provider has ordered drug V, and they want that patient to have 275 milligrams, okay? That's got to be added to 1 liter of normal saline. So they're going to get this in their IV, but you have to add that medicine, which is 275 milligrams, to a bag. So you have a bottle of medicine, and it is a powder form. We can't give powder in the vein, could you? Well, you could, but then you'll kill your patient. That's not what you want to do. So we have to reconstitute it. Reconstitute is big word for add liquid to a powder, shake it, and make it a liquid so you can give it to your patient. So our goal is to see how much of drug V will we put in that IV bag. So what is the amount of drug V that is ordered? 275 milligrams. Okay. Then it says that available is drug V. We got 1,000 milligrams of powder. We got to add water or normal saline to it, shake it up. And then when it's a liquid, This is the concentration of the medicine. You always want to concentrate on the concentration. All that other extra stuff, like how many grams, how much diluent you add, that is fluff. Concentrate on the concentration of the medicine, okay? So 550 mgs per 3 ml, okay? So now we can set up our problem. The way that we do dimensional analysis is like a puzzle. So like a real puzzle. You see, this is like a puzzle piece. We're going to piece together the information. You always want to start with that puzzle piece that's the same as this, right? So if I have milliliters right here, I want to take it and I want to flip that puzzle piece so that my milliliter is on the top. So 3 ml over 550 milligrams. So next, how do you tell what's the next piece? So I got a milligram at the bottom. I need milligrams at the top. So that'll be 225 milligrams over 1. My milligrams cancels out. And the only thing that is left is what that goal is, what it is that I am looking for. Okay, so now we can do the math. So we'll have to multiply across the top, get a number, multiply across the bottom, get a number, then divide the top by the bottom. So 3 times 225 divided by 550. So I got 1.22. Let me do it again. 3 times 225 divided by 550. Yep. So if we were to round this, is it 225, 275? Oh, my bad. I see what y'all are saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, just kidding. It's like it's 275, not 225. That would make a difference. So you gotta make sure that you have the correct numbers, or you're not gonna get the correct answer. 275. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Right, so 3 times 275, which is 825, divided by 550. So it'll be 1.5 milliliters. Anybody have any questions? So with any IV problems, we have to round to the whole number. It just depends. Some IV pumps can go to like the tenths with like heparin and stuff. So the question should tell you to round to the whole number or to the tenths place. They should give you that. But some IV pumps don't require whole numbers. Does the ATI and TEAS test have problems like this? When you're at school, yes. Perfect. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Alrighty. So you love my explanation? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad that I can help make sense of it, because that's the problem. You read and you don't know what's going on. You're like, okay, I know I'm smart. I know things, but what is going on? What am I looking for, right? All right. Okay, so the pregnant client is being induced. The ordered rate is Pitocin 4.2 milliunits per minute. The IV bag is 1,000 milliliters with 10 units of Pitocin. At what rate in milliliter per hour should the pump be set? Okie dokie. What is this question asking for me to give it? What am I looking for? What is my goal? Alrighty. Milliliter per hour, right? Okay, so now we have to see what our puzzle pieces are, right? So what is the ordered amount? How much of the medicine does the provider want me to give to the patient? We want to give them 4.2 milliunits per minute, right? So 4.2 milliunits per minute. What's together stays together. So you see how it said per, if it says in or with, those are the wedding ring words. So keep them together and they're on one puzzle piece. Okay. So now what is our medicine? So we have to see what the medicine concentration is, right? We got 1,000 milliliters. And in those 1,000 milliliters is 10 units of the medicine, Pitocin. Okay, so that goes together and stays together. So now what we have to do is set up our problem. We always want to start with that top unit of measure, right? So right here, boom, we got 1,000 milliliters over 10 units. So now I have my milliliters at the top. I need to piece together and make my way till I can get hour at the bottom, okay? So I need units to go at the top because what's on the bottom has to go to the top if it's not a part of the goal. That's how you cancel out your units, okay? So do I have a puzzle piece with just units in it? I have milliunits, but this is where people get confused at because look, if 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams, wouldn't 1 unit equal 1,000 milliunits? You just are simply switching out your base unit of measure. Yes. So don't let, just because it's in a unit and not a gram, throw you off, because everything can't be in units. Sometimes stuff is in milli equivalent. Sometimes it's in units, like Pitocin and Heparin, okay? Everything can't be a gram or a milligram. So I know that 1 unit equals 1,000 milliunits, okay? So then that will be my next puzzle piece to make sure I cancel out my units. Now I need a puzzle piece with milliunit in it. Do I have that? Yeah, it's right here. So 4.2 MUs per minute. Okay. And now I have to still get hour. So I need to see how many minutes are in an hour. That is your minute to hour conversion, right? So there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And you see everything is now gone except for milliliter at the top and hour at the bottom. Exactly. So now your puzzle is completed. You like it? Those who are here with me tonight for the first time, hey, welcome in. I'm Nurse C, Blessed RN, and I help students with dosage calculations. I teach you how to do dimensional analysis in a different way. It's not very intimidating. We are not doing math, we're doing puzzles. These are so simple. Wow, you just have to read carefully and work through it. Exactly. Hey, Canadian registered nurse, how are you? Yeah, don't make it hard. And you see, we don't do any math until the end. So now what I'll do is multiply across the top. 1,000 times 4.2 times 60. And then you see that's a big old number. And then I'm going to divide by the bottom. 10, 1,000. So it should be 25.2 milliliters per hour. Do you do math on Wednesdays? Yes. So this is Work It Out Wednesdays. I do math on here. Starting July 3rd, I will have my Zooms on Thursday, so afternoon and evening, and Friday evenings. But they're going to be on specified topics. So I'll put that up in a little bit and show you what we got planned for July. And with that, you get the questions that I go over. We'll start with a lesson on that specified topic, do a couple of practice, and it's called the Puzzle Masters Power Hour. So, yeah. Wednesdays will be here on TikTok for Work It Out Wednesdays, and then the Thursday and Friday evenings and afternoons. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? Y'all good? We're good? All right. A cardiac drip is infusing at 15 mLs per hour on an infusion pump. The drug is available as 50 milligrams and 500 milliliters of D5W. How many micrograms per minute is the patient receiving? Okay, what is this question asking for me to give it? Y'all let me know in the chat. That's half the battle right there, is finding the goal. Hey, Roxanne. There, I got food in my teeth. This her. Hey, how are you? All right. So my goal is microgram per minute, right? Boom. So I know I want to end up, hey Jennifer, how are you? So we want to do micrograms at the top and minutes at the bottom. That's what our puzzle is going to look like once it gets done. So what are our pieces? We have a cardiac drip, and it's infusing at 15 milliliters per hour. So every hour they're getting 15 milliliters in their veins. Okay, so that's your rate, 15 mLs per hour. Hey Mrs. M, how are you? I'm doing well, thank you. The drug is available as 50 milligrams in 500 milliliters. Okay, so this is what's going, right? This is the medicine that's going 15 milliliters. So I need to see how many micrograms they are getting in this 15 milliliters of fluid every hour. That's basically what I'm looking for. Okay, so do we have a puzzle piece with our goal unit in there? So you know we got to start with this first, right? If you start with your goals, you don't have to go and look for them. You know, everything else that comes behind it has to be crossed out and canceled out. Right, we don't. So if you don't have a puzzle piece with that said goal unit in it, pull out your metric conversions. Exactly. Okay, so I know that this is milligram. Milligrams and micrograms are related, right? Okay, so we know that 1,000 micrograms is equal to 1 milligram. So we've got our goal, boom. So this is how we tell what the next piece is, milligram, right? So what would be my next puzzle piece? Glad to hear you trying to learn something. It's been a minute. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. All right, so our next puzzle piece would be the 50, right? This one right here, 50 mgs per 500 ml. Okay, now if I got milliliter on the bottom, what would be my next puzzle piece? Hey cuz, how are you? 15 milliliters per hour, and you cross your unit out as you go. Okay, my last piece, I got hours, but I need minutes at the bottom, right? So I know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So now I got microgram on the top, boom, and minute on the bottom. Bow. Puzzle is complete, and now you can do your math. 1,000 times 50 times 15 divided by 500 divided by 60, which is 25 micrograms per minute. What y'all think about it? How y'all feeling? How are you feeling? If y'all could do a favor for me and double tap in between the different questions. I know you're trying to work them out and piece together these puzzles with me. It helps stimulate the FYP and let other students like yourselves know that we are doing dosage, defeating dosage with these puzzle pieces. And I'm gonna need you to sit beside me on the exit, Hessie. I can't do that. Hey Jada, how are you? Good. All right. Okay, y'all. Let's keep going. Ooh, it's heparin. Ho, 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 ho. How many of you don't like heparin problems? how often do I do calculations? It give the drugs on days, and I'm on med surge. But if I was like on oncology or peds floor, it would be much more. But when I have like a heparin order come through, I double check those. And then like when you also have your ordered drugs, you just make sure that it matches with what's coming out the machine. So you do it often, because most of the time you have a vial and it has more than one dose in that vial, and so you can't pull up all that medicine. So if it's like this many doses in there, you got to make sure you just pull out just enough. So you do calculate. So I do calculations often, if that's what you're asking me as a nurse. How often do you do calculations? Hopefully. Or if you're asking how often do I do this, it's working out Wednesdays. So it's on Wednesdays. So your patient has an order. You meant on here. Okay, that's what I was like, what you asking me? The patient has an order to receive heparin bolus of 1,500 units, followed by an IV drip of 14 units per kilogram per hour. Your patient weighs 123 pounds. The vial is labeled 1,000 units per milliliter. What will you give to your patient for the initial bolus? What will you set your pump at for a continuous drip if your 1,000 ml bag is labeled 50,000 units of heparin? Okay. So what's going on here is, I got you, Layla. I got you. So listen, a bolus is a big word for one-time administration of medicine. It's not going to be like a drip. It's not going to be a drip. It's just going to be one time and you give it, and that's it. Okay. So in order for heparin to, thank y'all for the gifts, I appreciate it. In order for heparin to work, because we want this patient not to clot, right? Because they got something going on. They got AFib, they don't have a STEMI, they got a PE or a DVT, something, right? So we got to get this medicine working fast. So that's what that bolus is for. It's to get it into the blood so it'll be boom. This is at this level. And then we're going to set a drip that's going to go continuously, that's going to maintain that drug at that level. And we're going to monitor it so that they're not getting too little or not getting too much. So they either won't bleed out or they'll start clotting, right? So it's just two different problems, okay? So my bolus, I'm going to look for my bolus information. It says I need a bolus of 1,500 units. And then it says that I have a vial that's labeled 1,000 units per milliliter. So what will we give to the patient for the bolus? Since my medicine is in milliliters, it's liquid, I need to see how many milliliters I need to draw up, okay? So my goal will be ml. So I just set this up very simply with the puzzle piece that has the goal in it. So milliliters, right? That's there. I'm going to put my mLs on the top, my 1,000 units on the bottom, and then I know I need my units to cross out. So I'll do my 1,500 units over 1. Units cancels out, and that is it. I'm simply left with milliliters. So 1,500 divided by 1,000 is going to be 1.5 ml. And that is the answer for the bolus. I see you, Courtney. Okay. So don't make it more complicated. I feel like a lot of stuff in nursing and like in medicine in general, it sounds more complicated than what it really is. Don't let that stuff put you in shock and awe, okay? Find the bolus. Now we're going to find the drip. So since we've given this medicine in the patient's veins, it's already gone. So we no longer need this info. We want all the information that is pertinent to the drip now, okay? Because we've put 1.5 mLs right here, right? Okay, so now we'll do our drip. So it says, what will you set your IV pump? So every time you see IV pump, you want to say milliliters per hour, okay? ml per hour. In electronic infusion device, IV pump, that's going to be milliliters per hour, unless they ask you for something different, okay? So my order is 14 units per kilogram per hour. The patient's weight is 123 pounds. And then I have a 1,000 ml bag with 50,000 units of heparin floating around in it. Okay, so now I got a little fly came in here. So now how will I set up my problem? What will be my first puzzle piece? We always want to start with this unit of measure at the top, right? So what's my first piece, y'all? We're going to defeat dosage, and I'm so excited. I see you, Roxanne. So 1,000 ml, so that's this one, right? Over 50,000 units. Okay, I've used that. So what is my next puzzle piece? What's my next piece? If I'm looking to cancel out my units. So 14 units per kg per hour. Okay, I've used that. Now we got mLs at the top, boom. We got hour at the bottom, but the only thing we need to get rid of is our kilograms, right? And our patient's weight is in pounds. So I'll pull out my metric conversion. 1 kg equals 2.2 pounds. My kilograms are gone now. And then I'll do 123 pounds over 1. And your puzzle is complete. Now you can do the math. So 1,000 times 14 times 123 divided by, and look how big that number is. Y'all want me to show y'all how to do the calculator trick? Put a 1 in the chat. If you already know how to do it, put a 2. And we're gonna practice rounding here in a second too. All right, so a lot of ones. So I'm going to show you how you will be able, because you know what we do when we solve our problem, right, is multiply across the top, get a number, write it down. Multiply across the bottom, get a number, write it down. Then you go back in your calculator, put that top number in divided by the bottom number. I'm gonna show you how to keep it all inside the calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in all of my numbers across the top, and I'm gonna hit multiply in between those. So 1,000 times 14 times 123. I don't include the ones because they don't make a difference. Because anything that's multiplied by 1 or divided by 1, it's itself. So now I'm going to hit divide, okay? And I'm going to put in all of my numbers on the bottom, but I'm going to hit divide in between those. So 50,000 divided by 2.2. And I'll hit the equal sign 1 time, and I'll have my answer. Y'all got it? We good? Yeah? Do I need to go over it again? Bree, hey. Got it. And you can do brain is fried. No, big dog. Don't start this stuff. With this connection. I don't know. I updated my TikTok studio thinking it would be different, but it's on the same old stuff. Hopefully I'll still here. But yeah, that's all you do. And you can use it like on your AT calculator or on your HESI calculator as well. So that is a shortcut. So if you have what's it called, time test, that'll help you to, you know, reduce some time. All right, so if my answer is 15.65 and it asked me to round to the nearest 10th place, what would be my rounded answer? Are you allowed a calculator and NCLEX? Yes, you are, Courtney. So we're rounding to the 10th place, okay? So Everything to the left of the decimal is your whole number. This is your tenths place, and this is your hundredths place. Because this is where a lot of people lose points because y'all don't round correctly. So let's get it together. All right. So I want to round to the tenths place. So you start at that place where they want you to round. Okay. So this is the tenths place, right? Now I want to go to its neighbor to the right. Okay, 1 decimal place to the right to its neighbor. If that number is a 5 or more, this number that I started at right here, I'm going to increase it by 1. Okay, so my answer would be 15.7. And then everything else behind it disappears because we just wanted to change that tenths place. Does that make sense? What y'all talking about? Oh yeah, that part is a task. Okay, with set and get up, big dog. So what you want to do is find your goal. You see how I have that goal right there at the top that says milliliter per hour? That's what the, okay? That's how I want to start all of my problems. This top goal right here will always be first. Right now, okay? So that's your first priority and it's your top goal, right? So put it on the top, keep it first. We're going to always start with whatever it is on the top, and then we'll work our way through by looking at that unit of measure that's on the bottom, and that's how you tell what's next. So we had 1,000 milliliters per 50,000 units, which was right here. So that was the first thing. Then what I did was look right here at the bottom. So I needed that to come to the top to be canceled out because I'm canceling out everything except for milliliters on the top, which you start with, and hour on the bottom, which we work our way to. Okay, and that's how you do it. But we'll do some more. Can we do some I and O questions? I don't have any cues up. I don't think. But I do have an I and O session that's coming on, what day is that? In July. And I'm working on an I's and O's video for the YouTube channel too. Yeah, July 24th at 3 p.m. I'm gonna share this schedule with y'all in a second. Can you show if it asks you to round to the hundreds place? So if you have an hundreds place, you gotta have a place that's in the thousands. So we didn't have one on that one, but I'll see if I can do that. Can you do some with milliliters per 24 hours? Are you talking about like fluid volume maintenance? Is that what you're talking about? So anytime you cancel a unit, you just put it over 1. So big dog, you see how every time I say your name, big dog. All right, I'm back. So every time you have something that's relative to each other, so like 1 hour is 60 minutes, 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. You had your medicine was like 1,000 units, well, 1,000 milliliters with 50,000. So you keep those things together. The thing that you put that's over 1 is what's by itself. So if it's partnered up, you leave it partnered up. If it doesn't have anything that it's relative to or equal to, that's either in the problem or a metric conversion, you put it over 1. That 1, don't let it throw you off. It's just a placeholder to show you that, whoop, that number should be at the top, because the equations are going to put the numbers either on the top or the bottom, the places that they need to be, so that the math will math and give you the answer. Okay. She said, woof, woof. I'm hollering. Yes, the time with the goal gets me at the end. Okay. 1 for I's and O's. Yes. Friday. Yeah. I have some availability tomorrow. I passed my dosage exam on Tuesday. Yay, Julia. Congratulations. Okay, I got it. Okay, cool. She said, you smart. Congratulations. She put these puzzle pieces together. We defeating dosage and the nurses are coming, y'all. Okay. A client weighs 115 pounds. The nurses to start drug D at 75 micrograms per kilogram per minute. The drug D is labeled 400 milligrams in 250 milliliters of normal saline. How many milliliters per hour will the IV infuse? Okie doke. What's my goal? Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to take my puzzle pieces, right? And I'm going to figure out what I need. Thank you. It was definitely hard, but putting the puzzle pieces together is the key. I love it. You are a puzzle master. All right, so 115 pounds. Is that with something or is it by itself? Is it equal to anything or is it just 115 pounds? It's just 115 pounds. Leave it by itself, okay? So 115 pounds. Now, what's our order? We have to start this drug at 7.5 micrograms per kilogram per minute, okay? Then what is the medicine? Your concentration. How many medicine parts are floating around in the liquid parts? 400 milligrams per 250 ml, okay? So, what will be our first puzzle piece? Hey, Addie. All right, so we'll do 250 mLs over 400 mgs. Cool beans. Good job. Big dog. You see, this right here is milliliter at the top. You always, 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 always want to start with whatever that unit of measure is at the top. So you see this? This is a puzzle piece, right? If I'm flipping this piece, no, because other people have the same question. So it's cool. And this is a safe place. We're here to lay it flat, make it plain so y'all can go rocking in the classroom, okay? Because I need y'all to come and relieve me. I'm tired. So we've got this piece. I'm flipping this piece, but has this piece changed in size or composition no matter how I flipped it? No. So you see, I can flip it because it's still equal to this piece. So this is the pieces, okay? You can flip them because that's what we're doing. We're just putting together the pieces so that they match and cancel out units so that you'll have what that goal is, okay? Are the questions always going to be answered in dimensional analysis? So I use dimensional analysis here because you can use dimensional analysis to solve from the easiest metric conversions to the hardest cardiac drip problem. And you do it the same way. No changing it up. Find your goal, find your puzzle pieces, and put them together. You don't have to use any formulas. You don't have to memorize formulas and try to figure out, well, which formula do I use for this? All you do is get your puzzle pieces, put them to the side like I've done, and start piecing it together. Multiply and divide, and you're done. Then you could also see how you set up your problem if you're missing anything or if you have to keep going. So I use dimensional analysis. I feel like it's easier, especially when you know what the heck you're doing. Once you get it, you got it and you're unstoppable. But, you know, if you're a little bit mathy, then that's cool because I didn't like this in school. I didn't understand what this was, but it wasn't taught to me like I'm teaching it to you, right? So it was confusing. It was long. It was drawn out. I didn't know what the heck was going on. But if you're mathy and you can understand stuff, then do ratio and proportion or desired over half / formulas. But you like dimensional analysis where you can just piece it together like a little puzzle, then that's for you. Okay. All right. So Miriam, you said my next puzzle piece is going to be the conversion. 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. Exactly. Because my puzzle piece over here had microgram in it. I didn't have any milligrams to put to the top. So what's the rule? If you don't have your puzzle pieces over there, but yeah, you pull out your conversions. So know your metric conversions. All right. So next, what's my next puzzle piece, y'all? What's my next piece? Desire over half is the easiest for me, but trying to learn this, cool. I love dimensional analysis. You can never go wrong with the unit conversions, cool. All right, so my next piece, I got micrograms, right? So that's what I want to go with, my 7 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Boom. And then I got kilograms in minutes. So I see somebody put 1 kg equals to 2.2 pounds. Now I can put my pounds on the top and cancel those out. And then my last puzzle piece will be to get rid of the minutes. So I need hour, I have minutes. So 60 minutes is 1 hour. So 250. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to, this is when the calculator trick comes in handy for real, y'all. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger so we can see the numbers. So 250 times 7.5. Remember, I don't put, oh, thank you for the gifts. I don't put the ones in there because they don't make a difference, right? So, sorry, 7.5 and then 115, well, times 115 times 60, divide 400 divided by 1000 divided by 2.2. And that's your answer. Hey! Hey everyone, I'm new to the live and you're learning. Hey Fancy, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. What am I looking for? Y'all got it? Any questions about this question or about the calculator trick? Speak now. Hello. Seems like a great concept. Will I do more? Yes, Leslie. Is a calculator available when taking it? Yes. You do have a calculator. Any more questions about this question? Mommy, you put 115 pounds. What about the 115 pounds? So I just want to point out some things. You're getting 1.27 on the calculator. You trying to do the calculator trick, purple? Oh, you forgot the pounds. Okay. Why did we leave it out? We did not leave it out. It is. Hold on. Full view. It's right here. Why is it not big? There we go. It's right here. You're always gonna need the weight of the patient if your order, which is this, has a weight in it. So then it's a weight-based problem. Yeah, don't, oh shoot, it's okay. Uh-oh, this one's kind of done, but we'll do it again. Let's do it again. All right, so we have 1 liter of 0.9% normal saline. It's been running for 50 minutes and it's to be infused over 6 hours. How many milliliters have been administered already? So what is this question asking for me to give it? How many milliliters has this patient received over these 50 minutes, right? So what is my goal? All right, big dog, I see you. I see you, big dog. All right, so why did this change that? Don't do that. Don't start acting up. Okay, so we have 1 liter and it's been running for 50 minutes, right? And it's to be infused over 6 hours. All right, so we've got it at 50 minutes. So listen, when you have an IV, you always want volume over time, okay? So I see you. So what is our volume? We have 1 liter, and it says is to be infused over 6 hours. So you always want your total volume over your total time, okay? So 1 liter has to go into this patient's veins over 6 hours, okay? And we're already 50 minutes. So I need to know how much liquid has that patient got in their veins, okay? So these are our puzzle pieces. It's always volume, total volume over time, either with your pumps or for your drops per minute questions, okay? And then we've got how long it's been going. So if I'm looking for milliliters, do I have a puzzle piece to start with milliliters? Yes or no in the chat. I'm trying to get y'all to think through it and get used to looking at that goal and what you have and seeing how to set it up. Okay? We don't, right? Pat, you don't see no milliliters on there. So, if we don't have the puzzle piece, or exactly, Roxanne, if you don't have the puzzle piece, what are you going to start with? Your conversion, okay? So I know that I have liters, but I want milliliters, right? So 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. Boom, okay? So now that I have that, what is my next puzzle piece? Okay, 1 liter over 6 hours. Cool beans. Use that. Now, I have hours on the bottom. Do I have hours in my puzzle piece? Do I have hours in my puzzle piece? Nope. Convert diminish. There you go, Ashley. Exactly. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, right? Boom, boom. Now, my last piece is going to be these 50 minutes over 1. And you see how everything is gone, 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 except for milliliters, which is my goal. This is literally the trickiest so far. How so? I thought it was an easier one. You just got to pull out your puzzle pieces. Look at your pieces, what it gives you. And it's like, if I don't have it, pull out your conversion. That's all. That's why it's so important for y'all to learn your metric conversions when you start. I have trouble figuring out what information to pick out or how to use it as a conversion. Okay, we'll go back through it. I actually understood it. Yes, congratulations. We're going to defeat dosage together. So 1,000 times 50 divided by 60 divided by 6. Okay, so they got 138.8. If we rounded this to the nearest whole number, what would my answer be? Yes. Congratulations. All right. So let's go back. And we're going to look and see. Oh, we're going to look and see what's going on with this, okay? So we know that 1 liter of normal saline, okay? 1 liter of normal saline has been running for 50 minutes. So this is your volume, your liquid. We got a bag of normal saline. Boom. It's been running for 50 minutes. Okay. But it is to be infused over 6 hours. So with your IV questions, all right, how much to go in on the patient's vein? So 1 liter. Over how long? You see how it says it's to be infused over? It literally tells you to put it over 6 hours. It's always going to be volume over time. Okay? So that's why these are together. Remember, we want things that are relative to each other. Things that are partners, that's equal. 1 liter is going to go in over 6 hours. Those two are together. That 50 minutes was just that what? That 50 minutes, okay? This problem was a little bit different because we had to go in our bag and pull out our conversions. So you see, we put our puzzle pieces over here. So we'll do it again. We'll walk through it again. So we know that 1 hour was to be given, 1 liter, sorry, 1 hour is to be given over 1 hour. 1 liter was to be given over 6 hours, and it had been running for 50 minutes. And my goal, how many milliliters has been administered already? So in those 50 minutes, how much liquid has gone in? That's what we're looking for, right? So the name of the game is to cancel out all of your units, and we're always going to start with that goal. If we look over at our puzzle pieces, we don't have that unit over there. We don't have milliliters, but we have liters, and we know that we can convert milliliters to liters. So that's why you start with your conversion. So 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. This don't have nothing to do with this because they're its own couple. They're the 1 liter 6 hoursers. They're married over there together. This got something totally different to do with them. This is your conversion, okay? So next, I know I need to get my liters on the bottom and on the top. Pick this puzzle piece up. So 1 liter equals to 6 hours, right? It's over 6 hours. So then hours, that's how you tell what's next, is that you just simply look at that unit of measure and see, do you have it in your puzzle pieces? We don't have hours over there, right? We have minutes. So a minute does not equal an hour. So therefore I have to do my what? Conversion. So I know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And now I can put minute on the top and on the bottom and cancel it out. And because that 50 minutes was not related to anything else, it was just chilling by itself, you leave it by itself and you put it over 1. Anything that's single is 1. Okay. And then we multiply it across the top, got a number, boom. Multiply across the bottom, got a number, boom. Divide the top by the bottom. Or you can use the calculator trick that I showed you how to do. And it was like 138.8 something. So round it to the nearest whole number, it would be 139 milliliters per hour. Does that kind of make it clear? Kind of clear some things up? Y'all let me know. So 1,000 times 50, yes. So you get that number, boom. And then 6 times 60. Okay. So if you did 1,000, I think so, times 50 divided by 6 divided by 60. It's like 138.88888. 888888888. So I rounded it to the nearest whole number and got 139. Sorry, Nadia. It's cutting up a little bit. But I appreciate y'all for hanging in here with me. Okay? Oh, here's another like volume to be infused in time type of deal, okay? So we have 1.5. So okay, Nadia, 1,000 times 50 divided by, and then round it. Yes, okay, yeah, that's it. So 1.5 liters of normal saline is running to be infused over 12 hours, which started at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 12 hours, the doctor requests for the remaining volume to be ran over 4 hours. Calculate the milliliters per hour for the remaining volume. Okay, I know you look like, well, what the heck is this? Okay, so this is what's going on. You have 1.5 liters in a bag, and that needs to be given over half a day, so 12 hours, right? It's going to be started at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when you spike the bag and put it on the pump, okay? 12 hours at 1200 hours, so at noon, sorry, I'm falling apart over here. The doctor comes and finds you and say, hey, can you put this in a little bit faster? So I needed to, instead of going over 8 more hours, I need you to run this faster. So yeah, we just need to see how many milliliters per hour will be the remaining for the volume. So how much has gone in this time? So we have 1.5 liters. And it's to be given over 12 hours. That is your rate, right? And we're starting this at 8 o'clock, and then it's going to stop at 12 o'clock. So from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, that's what? 4 hours, right? So I need to see how many milliliters that is. That has gone in already. So do we have milliliters on our puzzle piece? I'm here. It's late here. You're falling asleep. Yeah, I'll post it. It'll go onto my YouTube channel. I gotta catch up. I went on vacation last week. I gotta download some and add. Y'all, it's a mess. But I'm coming. I promise. All right. So we'll do our 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. Okay. What's our next puzzle piece? So next puzzle piece, that 1.5 liters over 12 hours. And then we got hours at the bottom. So our next puzzle piece is 4 hours. So 1,000 times 5. What's going on? Hey, I don't know what's going on. My computer's cutting up. So while I still got this pulled up, let me tell you about the Puzzle Masters Power Hour. And then I'm gonna get my phone and set it up, and we can do some more studying, like when I cast it to my other screen. Cool? Cool. All right. So the Puzzle Masters Power Hour is a subscription service on my own personal website. Is via Zoom. So if you like how these lives are going without the glitch, because it'll be on Zoom, and you want to study just specific topics, because I see people coming to the comments, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? So this will be a month-by-month subscription basis. You will get the questions that I go over, and then we'll start with the lesson and we'll do practice problems. You'll also have an opportunity to ask questions, right? And it's $18 a month. So for less than what you probably pay in Starbucks, you can get these sessions and you'll be able to look at the recordings. So that is what's starting on July 3rd. This was I had to switch it out because it's glitching over here. I'm going to get this other problem pulled back up. I'm going to set up my phone so that I can mirror it to the screen and restart the live, because sometimes when I'm in not YouTube Studio, TikTok Studio, it does this little glitching thing, and I thought it was fixed, but I don't know. So Q, give me a second and I'm going to see y'all in just a minute. I'm just going to switch it over and see if it's going to be better that way. Okay. If y'all could double tap when you come in and share the live, I would definitely appreciate it. This live session and the one that I had before it cut off will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give it a second and let everybody else come back in, because I had to restart the live session. But this is the problem that we were doing before. But while we're waiting on everybody to come in, how do y'all like this puzzle piece method to dimensional analysis? Is it kind of making it easier? No, Miss Roxanne, I only come on Wednesdays. Just Wednesdays now. Y'all come on before I start forgetting stuff. Okay. Let's just have to catch it in. If we need to do it again, we'll do it again. All right, so what was our goal? Our goal was milliliters, right? Because we need to see how much was going in from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock was 4 hours, right? We know we had 1.5 liters to go what? To be infused over. Put it over 12 hours, okay? And yeah, baby, it's hard, but I feel like I'll get it with a bunch of practice. Yeah, you just have to practice. Okay, so do we have milliliters to start with in our puzzle pieces? No, we don't, right? So I know that 1,000 milliliters equals to 1 liter. So then I'll take my puzzle piece over here, 1.5 liters over 12 hours. Boom. And then we have 4 hours over 1. And that's going to tell me how many milliliters has gone in already. And you see, I just went from piece to puzzle piece, right? So I'm going to bring up my calculator. We got 1,000 times 1.5 times 4 divided by 12. And you see, I just put all my numbers in across the top, multiply, put my numbers in across the bottom, divide it. So that's going to be 500 milliliters, okay? So 500 milliliters has gone into my patient from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock, right? So at 12 o'clock, the doctor, his big head self, comes in and says, oh, I need you to run this faster. So if we had 1,500 milliliters initially, because that's what 1.5 liters is, right? And we subtract 500, we know that 1,000 milliliters is left. He wants the remaining milliliters to what? Be ran over 4 hours, okay? So what am I going to do? 1,000 milliliters is to go over 4 hours. And we are looking for the milliliter per hour for the remaining volume. So this was your remaining volume. And you see I got milliliter on the top. Milliliters per hour. So to cancel the bottom, you put it at the top in the next piece. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all got any questions about this one? I like these because it's kind of like you have to see what's going on. But it's still the same thing. We still use dimensional analysis. You kept what's together, what was by itself is by itself. You make it so easy. Yeah, that's my job, Marisela. Yeah. So what we had to do was find how many milliliters of liquid or normal saline went into the patient's veins from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And we just simply put the time that it was going in, which was 4 hours. So from 8 to 12 was 4 hours. We had 1.5 liters, and that was to go over 12 hours. That was the original rate. And we just put in a metric conversion to make sure we started with our goal of finding how many milliliters, right? And we found that it was 500. So we started with this, and what was infused was this. And so this was the remaining amount. So it says calculate the milliliters per hour for what? The remaining amount. So if I got 1,000 milliliters, boom, and I wanted the remaining volume to be ran over 4 hours, I put it over 4 hours and then just divide the top by the bottom. That's it. That's it. Anybody got any more questions on this one? Thank you for sharing the live. Thank y'all for liking it as well. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties from the last setup. When do I do these? On Wednesday nights, at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Before I got off the live, I was telling y'all about the puzzle piece, or the Puzzle Master Power Hour. So it'll be like this, but it'll be on Zoom, and it'll be specific topics for that one night, and you'll be able to download the questions and look at the videos on the replay. But specific topics for that one night, and you'll be able to download the questions and look at the videos on the replay, but they'll be members only replay, so they won't be on the YouTube channel like this. And you know, these sessions are all over the place because I try to cover a wide range, but these will be specified topics. Yeah, you talking about that's it, like it's easy and you fold your arms. It is. How did you get the 1500 milliliters? Is that what you got from when you multiply across the top? Hold on, Avery, let me go back real quick. So 1.5. Whoa, what is this doing? That ain't what I just went to. What's the one I just did? Here it is. 1.5 liters equals 1500 milliliters. So I just did a quick conversion in my head. You gonna catch this one on YouTube? I came in late. Okay, Kelly. So yeah. So 1.5 liters is equal to 1500 milliliters, because 1 milliliter, well, 1 liter is 1000 milliliters. So you just times 1.5 times 1000, and that's what you get. Okay. Well, let's do. Somebody asked me about a day and a dose one too. I'm gonna have to find one, but this is like the one I just did. I like these. Oh, what if you didn't convert it that way and just do it the other way? Would it be the same? Still the same. They all equal to each other. So it's either you can put the conversions like in the equation, or you can pre-convert. It's just all what you're comfortable with. The doctor orders 1 liter of normal saline to infuse over 8 hours. Okay, that's your order, right? The nurse starts the IV at 1300, so that's 1 o'clock. At 1900, which is 7 o'clock at night, the patient pulls out the IV. Now, why you do that, patient? Why did you do that? The nurse restarts the IV at 10 o'clock, which is 2200, at the same rate, starting with the amount of IV fluid left at 1900, which is 7 o'clock. Calculate the new infusion time and the completion time of the IV. Y'all want to do this one or nah? This is like a real life, for real. They be doing the most. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a lot of words. It is a lot of words. But like I said, you see how I read that though? It's like, what is going on? Okay, this is what I have. So we know that 1 liter is going over 8 hours, right? That's together. I don't have questions like that on my MCT. People had do all kind of different stuff. Like I see like all types of stuff when I do private tutoring. I'm just like, where do they come up with this? But let's do it. All right, so we started it at 1300, right? At 7 o'clock, that's when Mr. Jones pulled it out, right? So how long has that been? That's 6 hours since it's been infusing, right? So the nurse restarts the IV at 10 o'clock at the same rate. So it's still going to be at, you know, that 1 liter over 8 hours, right? So starting with the amount of fluid that was left at 7 o'clock, calculate the new infusion time and the completion time of the IV. So we wouldn't, it wouldn't be empty yet. Not empty yet. So, because it hasn't been 8 hours yet. Remember? Yeah. Okay, so we need to see how many milliliters has gone into this patient's vein already. Okay. Okay, so we need to see how many milliliters has gone into this patient's vein already. Okay, so from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, how many hours is that? How many hours is that? I love these. You give great real life examples. I try. A vicious Teletubby. Oh my gosh, that would be my worst nightmare. So from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, that's 6 hours. Okay? So, do I have a puzzle piece with milliliters? No, I don't. So 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. That's your conversion, right? So next, I know that 1 liter is to go over 8 hours. So then it's been running for 6 hours. Everything is gone except for how many milliliters I am looking for, right? So that's going to be what, 6,000 on the top over 8. So what is our answer? I don't know. Let's pull the calculator out. So 1,000 times 6 divided by 8. 750. Cool. Y'all got that? I got that. Wait, where did it say we need ml? Somebody come and save me, I'm drowning. Look, it says starting with the amount of fluid left at 7 o'clock. So the amount of fluid that's left at 7 o'clock. So we need to see how much was gone in, right? So if you started at 1 o'clock and they pulled it out at 7, we need to see the amount of fluid. You picking up what I'm dropping? So that's why we're solving for milliliters, because that's the amount of fluid. Okay? So what was that? What did I say? 750? So if we started with 1,000 milliliters of fluid, which is 1 liter, right? You had 750 to go in. We got 250 milliliters that's left. Okay? So this was to go over 8 hours. How many hours has passed? 6. So we're going to put 250 milliliters over 2 hours because that's the remaining amount of time. Okay? So in order to set my rate, it's going to be what? 125 milliliters per hour. So if we started this back at 2200, what time will our IV completion be done? Our IV drip be completed at 2200 plus those 2 hours that's left should be done at midnight. Where did I get the 2 hours from? So initially, how many hours did we have to infuse it over? 8. And how many hours did we have to infuse it over? 8. And then when they pulled it out, it was 6 hours that had gone by out of those 8. We didn't start the IV back again until 10 o'clock, but we still had 2 more hours for that medicine to go in. This probably where I would have gotten stuck. I did DA like 3 times to see if I was missing 2 hours. Gotcha. Yeah, with these word problems, they get a little bit trickier. So you have to think about what is going on. You're lost with the 2 hours? Okay. So let me erase this. When we first read the question, it said that the IV is to infuse over how long? 8 hours, right? Oh, never mind. Okay. Look, I was gonna pull out the colors. We was gonna get it one way or another. Okay. All right. I'll put the colors back up. Any more questions about this one? This was a fun one. I like doing this one. Any more questions? Underlining the factors in the question is helpful because if you miss the time left, it'll be wrong. Exactly. Fun. Are you okay? Because what, Bookie, this is what I do. I love it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Big dog, you're going to be all right. You're going to say, roof. You're going to be running with the big dogs, okay? Just stick with me. Stick with me. It'll be okay. The nurse begins 1 liter of normal saline at 8 o'clock to infuse at 50 milliliters per hour. See, y'all, look, I don't work 3/12s from Sunday to today, and I still ain't got all my bearings, so ain't no telling what's going to come out. All right, parenteral intake is closed at 1 o'clock. Calculate the IV intake for the 7 to 1500 hour shift. Okay. What time do we congregate here daily and weekly? So here it is going to be Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Puzzle Masters Power Hour, that's a whole mouth to say, will start on July 3rd. And those days and times are posted with the specific classes and the topics for those. So if you're interested in it. All right. So what's going on here, you guys? So we have 1 liter of normal saline, right? And they start that at 8 o'clock. So 1 liter, and it's started at 8 o'clock, and it's to go at what? 50 milliliters per hour, right? So it was stopped at 1 o'clock, right? So from 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock, how long is that? You can't see half the screen? My bad. Oh, I see you got a book. Let me go order it because, my God. Yeah, I do have a book. I have a book. I have the Puzzle Masters Power Hour. I have the YouTube channel. Any way that I can help you guys defeat dosage calculations. Yeah. Okay, so from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock, that is what? What's 13 minus 8? 5? Just 5 hours, right? Okay. So we know that's been going from this what? What's 13 minus 8? 5? Just 5 hours, right? Okay. So we know that's been going for 5 hours. So this is kind of like I's and O's, okay? So we need to see how long or how much they got from 7 to 3, right? So when you do these, you have to make sure your times are in the shift that they tell you. So 8 o'clock falls within the 8 to 3 o'clock time, and 1 o'clock does too. So I need to see how many milliliters they got during this time, okay? So do we have milliliters in our puzzle piece? Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Big dog. Look at you. Look at you. See, you talking about some, am I okay? Are you okay? Because you're pulling out the gold now. All right. So 50 mLs per hour, right? So then we know that how long did it go? Woof, woof, right? How long did it go? It went for 5 hours, right? So hours cancels out. So 50 times 5, is that 250? So that's how many milliliters they got from that time. Well, what about this piece? What about it? This I wanted to show you. So even if you're not sure if you have a puzzle piece, does it belong in your puzzle? If it doesn't fit anywhere, it doesn't belong in your puzzle. 1 liter was the whole bag, right? Of course, we didn't give the whole bag because you had some left. How did I get 5 hours? So we started this at 8 o'clock. And it said the intake is closed at 1. So 13. So 1300 minus 0800 is 5. hours. Yeah. Any more questions? So they got nothing from 1 to 3. They probably did, but they just said that the intake was closed at it. So even if it's still infusing through that time, your charting system sometimes stops at a certain amount, even though it's continuous. They just want to know from 8 to 1, how much did they have? Because it says that the parenteral intake is closed. So what is parenteral? Going in the veins. It said it stopped at 1 o'clock. So that's where you stop at. Don't try to go and make up some other type of background story and everything else. You only take what they give you, okay? What if I do the conversion of 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters and add the 50 per hour? How do I know if I need that? So don't do that, Avery. If you have a puzzle piece that has that goal in it, use that piece. We had that piece, right? Right here. This was our rate. 50 milliliters is to go in 50 milliliters is to go in every hour. So we know that every hour that goes past, they're going to get 50 milliliters into their IVs. And it's been going for what? How many hours? 5. So 5 hours and they're getting 50 milliliters every hour. That'll be 250 milliliters that they received in those 5 hours. I feel like hours. I feel like I'm in algebra 1 and 2. No, Danielle. No. These are a little bit funky. I always like to kind of flip it up a little bit. We did a little bit of some that were kind of like more straightforward earlier. But these are kind of like the ones that you have to think through and see exactly like, okay, what is this asking me? What are we looking at? But you do them the same way. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Weight-based. I'm going to do that to show you. Is this? No. Yep. This is one I want to do. To show you about day versus dose, and then I'm going to bed because I'm tired. What time would you stop? You would have stopped at 1300, because what did it say, Sky? It said that the parenteral intake, so you got enteral, which is going to be in your mouth. Parenteral is, other than your mouth, is stopped at 1300. So where do? You stop it at 1300. I would have did the long way to Avery just to see that I already had it. Oh no. But the question says from 7 to 3. Okay, now I'm confused. But what time did they say that the IV stopped at? It said it stopped at 1300. I want to say 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is 1500. 13. It stopped at 1300. Never mind. I'm overthinking it. Yes, y'all be overthinking it. Gotta find the fluff from what the goal is actually asking. Yes. I'm enjoying this though. Love keep the brain fresh and making sure it's still. Gotta find the fluff from what the goal is actually asking. Yes. I'm enjoying this though. Love keep the brain fresh and making sure it's still working. Yes, Danielle. Lord Jesus, so that was a trick question. I'm a beginner. I started in August. Where would you recommend I start from, Tabby? Congratulations on starting. Learn your metric conversions, ma'am. Learn your metric conversions. You'll need those. And then if you want to start studying with me, I do have the Puzzle Master Power Hours. That's kind of like this. It'll be a little bit more refined, and it'll be on Zoom next month on the 3rd, and I'll pull that up in just a second. So drug A, 12.5 milligrams per kilogram per day every 6 hours has been ordered for a patient that weighs 22 kgs. Drug A is available in the concentration of 10 mgs per 5 mLs. How many milliliters per day will be administered? Okay, where is what is the goal? What are we looking for? Can these be found in your book? Yes, I do have examples of weight-based day and dose. And it's actually 4 different pages in my book that break down on what you need to see
the information that you need to use if it's asking you milliliters per day or milligrams per day or per dose. Yep. It's in the weight-based chapter. Okay? Y'all are saying milliliter. I'm gonna need y'all to get everything that it's asking you for. So it says milliliter per day. Because it could have asked you milliliter for one dose, but this says it wants for the whole day. Only give the question what it wants, nothing more and nothing less, okay? I take my second MCT in the fall before clinicals. Okay, Avery, you got time to study. Big dog, don't do that. Put your hand down. So, what are our puzzle pieces? So, we know that drug A is ordered to be given 12 milligrams per kilogram per day, right? So let's pause. Let's pull out the colors. We're going to make it a little easier, right? Look at your goal, because your goal is your best friend. That has day in it, right? My order is 12 milligrams per kilogram for the whole day, right? So guess what's going to be fluff? This. I don't need the frequency, which is how many doses are in the day or how many times you give it in a day, if it's telling me in my order the amount that I have for the whole day already. You see how that goal helped you out? Your goal is your best friend. Start writing a goal on the top of your paper, and that might help you see where you're going and give you some direction. So I don't need this. This is fluff. I don't need that, okay? So then my patient weighs 22 kgs and it's already in kilograms. Yay, I love it when they do that. And then my medicine is in the concentration of 10 mgs per 5 ml, okay? So how am I going to set my puzzle up with my pieces? Can you use... So how am I going to set my puzzle up with my pieces? Can you use ratio and proportion method, or do nursing schools force you to do dimensional analysis? They don't force you to do anything, I don't think. Well, yeah, they do. They do force you to do stuff. But it just depends on the program. It depends on the program. Dimensional analysis, like I said, I'm very biased. I did not use dimensional analysis. Oh, thank you so much. When I was in school, because I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me, and nobody broke it down the way I'm breaking it down to you. But you can use it from everything. So once you got this method, you can go far. I just felt the hissy for the first time. I'm not getting it for some reason. Okay, let's work on it, Taylor May. All right, so we said that our first puzzle piece was what? 5 mLs per 10 mgs. All right, so what's our next puzzle piece? I just failed dosage calc, so I need all the help. That's okay. Y'all are here. We're here. We're going to defeat dosage calculations. Was so confused in dimensional analysis until med math class. The professor made me get it. Cool. I'm glad that you're that's a successful professor story, because Lord, y'all know y'all be talking about these folks. And I just sit there with a straight face and I'm like, okay. Whew. It's okay, y'all. We're going to get through it, okay? So, what's our next puzzle piece now? And I see y'all. Thank y'all for participating in the chat. And y'all are practicing. You're putting the work in. See, you thought you were just scrolling on TikTok. Y'all are practicing. You're putting the work in. See, you thought you were just scrolling on TikTok. Y'all are studying with me, Nursey, and I appreciate it. Boom. I see y'all. Exactly. Now, what do we have? Milliliter at the top, boom, and day at the bottom, boom. Your puzzle is now completed, and that's it. Wish I understood it when I was in chem for your prereqs. Yeah, I don't know how I did good in chem, because I didn't like dimensional, and no. Don't. Are we here? Are we good? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I'm finally catching you live. Hey, pretty Lex kitten. Yes. Why did you put 5 milliliters on the top? Why did you flip it? Latoya Sharon. What we're going to do every single time to set up our equation. So if y'all have questions about setting up your equation, you start with this top unit of measure. If you start with your goal, it's your top priority. It comes first in your life. You don't have to go and look for it. So that's why we take this piece that has the goal unit in it and you flip it so that your unit of measure that's on the top is on the top, because that's what we want to end up. We want our equation to look like our goal. We want the milliliters to be on the top and the day to be at the bottom. Nursey, why didn't we do 1/20? Okay, it was lagging bad. Dang. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still here. Y'all still here too? Cool. Why didn't we do 1/24? Hey, Purple Rose, where you see that at? What is your thinking process on that part? Oh, I forgot about the 22, so it's 138. Okay. We good. We back. Why didn't you use the frequency? Cleo. Remember what frequency is? So frequency is how often we give a dose that's in a day, right? What did the goal ask us for? It asked us for how many milliliters was in a day. Didn't our order have how much was in the whole day already? So we don't need to know about an individual dose. So we know that it wanted us to give it every 6 hours, right? So there's 24 hours in a day divided by every 6. That means it would have been 4 doses in the day. I didn't need to know anything about a dose because this didn't ask me anything about a dose. Okay? She said, I love it here. I'm glad. Don't have to convert for go. Okay, y'all better help each other out in these comments. I love it. What if we kept it 10 milligrams over 5 mLs? Would the answer have came out the same? No, Nikki, because then you would have had milligrams at the top and nothing to cancel out your milliliters with. The name of the game is to set up your problem so that your units of measure look like what the question is asking for. It would be different because you had to multiply the top and divide the bottom. So if it was 3 days, it would have been 3. Well, that 3 days would have been your duration. If I'm picking up what you're asking me, it don't ask for the amount for 3 days. It just said how many milliliters for a day. So if it was 3 days, then that would have just been fluff, because you're looking for milliliters per day. I never know what the distraction is. I try to calculate everything. Use your goal, Taylor May. Use your goal. That goal is gonna help you navigate through the problem. Oh my God, my exam is tomorrow, and you just solved my problem I had with the differences of day. Hey, Fatima. Thank you for the roses. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you. The fluff gets me too, but when I take out my puzzle pieces, it makes sense. Cool. I love it. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. You're welcome. Thank you so much, y'all. Appreciate that. When the light comes on, it just kind of shines bright. You know what I'm saying? It's like once you get it, you got it. And using that goal is what's going to be the difference maker, because you only want to give it what you got. Yeah, I got it. Just nervous. Cleo, what you nervous for? You scared of this? It's just a puzzle piece. Look, don't even think about it as math. You're just putting together puzzles. Nikki, I go off in live. I go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.